Several days have passed. Hinata was in the house that he had inherited from his grandmother. He was sitting on the fluffy carpet in the living room, with his back leaning on the bottom part of the couch. Absorbed in his own thoughts, he was tapping a rhythm on the back of his phone, which was lying close to his hand, with the screen facing the carpet. Apart from the rhythm he was tapping out, there was no other sound. He felt lonely, and thought it was too quiet. He picked up his phone, planning to text Kenma. However, when he unlocked it, he froze in place, seeing the still unchanged wallpaper, which was his and Sukusa's photo together. Hinata remembered the day when it was taken very well. At that time he was in a very good mood, even better than usual, and was full of positive energy. As soon as he woke up, he had a feeling it would be one of his best days in that month. A few days earlier, Sakusa had gone to visit his family, and was scheduled to return in the afternoon that day. When he entered the house, Shoyo greeted him with a bright smile, and filled him with a million questions. At first, Sakusa thought that his boyfriend's enthusiasm was quite cute, but he quickly changed his mind, as the tiredness after the travel started to hit him more and more, while Hinata was more and more joyful. Realizing that Amu was tired, Shoyo promised to calm down, after they will take a photo together. Amu wasn't eager for the idea, but he couldn't refuse Hinata, as he looked at him with a pleading expression on his face. The photo was a little blurry, as Hinata stood on tiptoe while taking it, and almost fell over. Luckily, Amu caught him in time, and admonished him to be a little more careful. Hinata sighed softly. Even though it had been a while since they broke up, he couldn't bring himself to finally change this photo, because he felt like it meant he had come to terms with what had happened, and should be able to move on. He gave up his plans to text Kenma, and instead he played a random song from his phone. To the complexity of the situation, it turned out that the song he clicked on was, "Just Missing You." Hinata raised his head, and looked at the wall on which photos of him and Sakusa were still hung. He planned to take them off any time soon, but every time he tried, he wasn't able to do it. Shoyo stared at them for several minutes. He especially focused on one of them, the frame of which was slightly scratched in the lower corner. It was the result of his behavior. After Sakusa broke up with him, he felt such a tangle of emotions that he couldn't handle it, and being overwhelmed by it, he pulled that picture off the wall and threw it on the floor. Fortunately, it fell from a relatively low height, thanks to which it didn't receive much damage. Hinata heard a notification coming from his phone about receiving a message, so he looked away from the wall and he picked up his phone to check who it was from. Sakusa sent a message. That's what Shoyo saw as fast as he unlocked his phone. "Hello, Shoyo." "Oh, sorry. I mean Hinata." "Hi, Sakusa." Hinata's hand trembled a little because of nerves, as he typed. "So, I promised to explain everything to you. And that's what I'm going to do. But first, I'd like to apologize for not doing this sooner." At this moment, both of them got a notification that someone sent a message to the group chat. "Here. At Sakusa. Do it here." "What? You were going to explain everything to Shoyo, right? So do it here." "How did you know?" "Sixth sense." "Why should I? Shouldn't they do it in private?" "No. Because we are his friends, so we also deserve to know why he had to go through it all, and we should be able to comfort him immediately, if anything goes wrong." "So? What happened?" At Hinata. "First of all, it's not that I have never loved you. My feelings and everything I told you was real. The truth is, I loved you really dearly. All our moments together are still very precious and valuable memories for me. But if you really loved me, why did we keep our relationship a secret? And now, when you're with someone else, you have told the rest about it so quickly. Have I ever really meant something to you?" Hinata whispered to himself. "It's not because I love him more than I loved you. This is because I realized that by keeping it as a secret you were suffering, and I wouldn't want anyone else to suffer the same as you." "Oh, that's nice." He didn't know what else he could answer. Even though SakuHina hadn't said anything wrong yet, Hinata felt a pain in his heart. There have been many times when because of you smile appeared on my face, or when you made me feel better overall. And I'm really thankful for that. Reading this, a few tears slowly ran down Hinata's cheeks. However, to be honest, at some point in our relationship, I stopped loving you as much as before. At first, I thought that it was just my imagination, because of how far we got with our relationship. I thought it was maybe only because we got into routine, ordinary daily life. So I acted the same as before, thinking that this feeling would soon pass me by. So why, when I came to talk to you about our drifting apart, you told me it wasn't like that at all, and you are here for me now and will also be in the future. Why didn't you tell me the truth? At that moment, I still thought that my feelings for you were as strong as before. But why later, when you realized that they weren't that strong anymore, you didn't come to talk to me about it? Why did you keep your feelings to yourself until the end? Maybe we could fix it. No, stop. Hinata quickly scolded himself for the thought. I know that this reason is stupid, but I was just afraid of hurting you. I stopped delusional myself that I still felt the same way for you as before, when one day I realized that I was falling more and more in love with someone else. That's why I broke up with you as soon as I realized that my heart was starting to belong to another person. But you will always be my first love, and a very important person to me. I didn't want to be the first. I wanted to be the last one. Hinata sighed, crying. His heart was in pain. It was hard for him to breathe. I didn't tell you anything back then, when we break up, because I didn't know how to do it. I felt that the fact of loving someone else while I was still with you was as heavy as cheating. If you fell in love with someone else, that's fine. It happens sometimes, we can't change it. There's nothing we can do about it. Maybe we just weren't meant to be together. Hinata's heart ached again as he wrote the last message. But you really should have told me that from the start. Do you know how much easier it would be for me? You should never break up with someone this way. Do you realize how painful it is? How much does the rejected person think about what was the cause? For months he blames himself for not being good enough, or thinks about what he did wrong. It is much less painful when you explain everything as quickly as possible. If you decide to end something, end it right. I am really sorry. And I swear that I mean it. Fine, I accept your apologies. And I hope that you will take to heart what I just said, and you won't make a mistake like that again. I want you to know that I still love you. I will probably never be able to love someone else as much as you. But now that this matter has been cleared up, I will try to slowly move on. To his own surprise, Hinata really was slowly feeling a little lighter in his heart. Will it be too much if I ask you to remain as a friend? I know that it may be difficult for you. I don't want to lose you completely. That's the thought that passed through SakuHina's mind. Yes, you are asking for too much. Kenma is right. Stop. No, you're not asking for too much. It's fine. But first I will need some time on my own. I understand. I will wait. I would also like to ask you for one thing. Your gray hoodie. Can I keep it? SakuHina smiled softly at Hinata's words. The gray hoodie he just mentioned was Shoyo's favorite cloth. He always borrowed it without asking. SakuHina couldn't even count how many times when he entered the house, the first thing he saw was Hinata wearing his hoodie, and smiling happily. Yeah, sure, Shoyo. Thank you. But now I have to go. See you later. See you. It went much better than I expected. Yeah. I expected myself to have more murderous intentions after this. Same. You what? Dot. To be continued.